4 months on Mounjaro. So my name is Patrice and thank you for popping in. I am on a journey to conquer diabetes one day at a time, one step at a time. Currently I am on the medication Mounjaro, which is aiding in managing my blood sugar but also assisting in weight loss. If you would like, you can check out other videos on my Mounjaro journey so far, as well as health tips that I have provided that has helped me on this journey thus far. So let's get into my 4-month results on the medication Mounjaro. A little backstory: I was previously on Ozempic and I stopped with Ozempic in November of 2022. I was trying to move up to the 2 milligram dose. I was previously on the 1 milligram dose, and I was trying to trend up to or titrate up to the 2 milligram dose, but it was out of stock, and I did some research and my provider switched me over to Mounjaro. So on November 30th of 2022, I started the medication Mounjaro on the 2.5 milligram dose. So I was on that dose for 1 month, and then I titrated up to the 5 milligram dose starting on the 2nd month. And if you would like to know all about month 1 and month 2, as well as month 3 on Mounjaro, I'll link the playlist up here so you can check that out. So at the beginning of month 4, so that was on week 13 of being on Mounjaro, on the 5 milligram dose, my starting weight was 176.4. Just to kind of give you a reference point, my starting weight on Mounjaro was 191.4. So at the beginning of month 4, I was at 176.4. So here are my weekly measurements for week 13, week 14, 15, and 16 on being on the medication Mounjaro. And so that leads me to having an overall weight in the last 4 months of being on Mounjaro of 17.6 pounds. So I've lost 17.6 pounds in the last 4 months of being on the medication Mounjaro. So I think that's great. I think that's good. That averages to be about 4.4 pounds per month. A pound a week. Actually, 1.1 pound per week. I'll take it. So I am monitoring my blood sugar and working hard to get my blood sugars down being on the medication Mounjaro. That's my ultimate goal. My A1C when I started Mounjaro was 5.9, so I'm trying to get that A1C out of the pre-diabetic range. So I have been tracking my blood sugars and documenting them in previous videos. Starting in week 2, my average blood sugar was 112. Week 3 was 114, and then on week 4, my average blood sugar was 117. And I noticed that my blood sugar started trending down. That was on the 2.5 milligram dose. It was in the 110s as an average. When I started out on week 5 of being on Mounjaro, I moved up to the 5 milligram dose. At the average blood sugar for that week was 116. Then it went down to 105, and then 104, and then 108 on week 8 of being on the medication Mounjaro. That was at the 5 milligram dose. This month, my average blood sugars continue to trend down even more, and week 13, my average blood sugar was 95, week 14 was 97, week 15 was 95, and then this past week, week 16 was 92. So I am noticing that my blood sugars continue to trend down on this medication, so I am pleased with that. And then another measurement that I have been tracking is my abdominal girth, my waist circumference. So I'm trying to do that because I'm trying to reduce the visceral fat, and that plays a part into the metabolic syndrome, which also plays a part in insulin resistance. I'll put some information down below on that. But I started measuring my waist circumference in the middle of the first month of being on Mounjaro. At that time, my waist circumference was 38.5 inches. Then last month, at the end of 3 months of being on the medication Mounjaro, my waist circumference measured 35.77 inches. And I am pleased to say that at the end of 4 months, my waist circumference is down to 34.08 inches. So, yay! My waist continues to go down, and before long, I'm about to be snatched. So I'm happy with that. So weight going down, blood sugar trending down, waist circumference trending down as well. So I am pleased with being on the medication Mounjaro, and I'm also okay with staying at the 5 milligram dose. I was on 2.5 the first month, 5 milligrams for months 2 and 3 and 4, and I will continue to be on the 5 milligram dose until I sit down and talk with my provider and in May, and then we'll see if I need to trend up or if I'll just stay at the 5 milligram dose. I talked a little bit about that in the video of week 16, and I'll link it here. So being on this medication for 4 months, I am pleased with the results. And with that, since this is the 4-month anniversary, so to speak, I wanted to leave with you guys 4 things that I wish I knew before starting Mounjaro. And these are in no particular order, but the first thing that I wish that I knew before starting the medication Mounjaro was the fatigue. So the day after I inject myself with the medication, I am tired. I'm tired. So I inject on Wednesday nights, and I started to do it in the night so that I can just go to sleep, after I inject it, and try to combat the fatigue that way. But I still notice the fatigue all throughout Thursdays. So maybe if you're just starting your journey, you could, or you haven't started yet, you can think about the day that you inject, because you may experience, I said may, because everybody's different, you may experience fatigue the day after your injection. So think about that when you are thinking about the day that you inject. The second thing that I wish I knew before starting the medication Mounjaro, which I kind of knew because I was on Ozempic, but it had kind of wore off when I was on Ozempic, because I was on Ozempic for a year and a half or so, is that the constipation is real. The constipation is real. So you drink your water. And like I said before, everybody is different. So if you're prone to experience constipation, make sure you drink your water. I try to drink at least a gallon of water a day, more or less, and that helps. I also have been taking some supplements, or using some supplements like Miralax, Metamucil, stool softeners. I also eat prunes. One of my viewers reminded me of the prune juice, so that might be an option for you guys. I don't eat prunes a lot, but I do eat them here and there. Another thing would be to increase your fruits and vegetable intake. That could help. And I've tried this in the past, but using the tea Smooth Move or any other teas that help with moving would be a great supplement to use. Now, another YouTuber, and I love her channel, her name is Keisha Dixon, and she just posted recently a video. It's a short video, so check it out. I'll link it up here or down here in the in the description section. She just did a video on pre-game. So like a pre-game, like, if you get ready for the game, get ready for whatever event you're about to go to, things that help you prior to. So she has some supplements that she lists, that she actually shows and has for you to view, that could help you with constipation, that can help you with other side effects that you may have on the medication Mounjaro. So check that out. Like I said, I'll link it down below. The third thing that I wish I knew before starting the medication Mounjaro is that I will be thirsty and my mouth will be dry. So I'm not sure if I've been doing it in this video, but I keep, making sure my lips are moist, going like that. I drink a lot of water. That helps with the constipation as well as the dry mouth and the thirst. And I have chapstick and lip balm with me at all times to try to help with that. And I've noticed in some forums that people have been asking others, do they experience itching while being on Mounjaro? And now that I think about it, I itch sometimes too, just all over, nothing too extreme, but that could be because of dry skin or drying, the thirst, dry mouth, dry skin. It could all be related, but yes, so drink your water and make sure you stay hydrated. And the last thing that I wish I knew before starting the medication Mounjaro, that maybe now that you are viewing this would help you along the way, is to make sure that I eat enough, but not too much. So it's a fine line for me. So I have to eat enough in order to continue to lose the weight and continue to make sure that I'm fueling my body with the correct nutrients and a proper amount of calories. And that's because the appetite suppression is heightened on days 1 through 5 for me. So I have to remind myself sometimes, okay, make sure you eat. Make sure you eat. What are you eating for lunch? Make sure you eat. Because that food noise, that food cravings, just desire to always eat is not there. So I have to remind myself to eat sometimes. So I need to make sure that I'm consuming an adequate amount of calories. However, I tried it a couple times and I soon paid for it. On the other spectrum of that, I have to remember to not eat too much. Because Mounjaro will come and knock you out and remind you, girl, what are you doing? Because you know that that delayed gastric emptying, that full feeling is there. So why are you trying to overeat? Whenever I overeat, because sometimes what I'm eating is so good. But whenever I overeat, I pay for it. My stomach, I feel so full. I just feel like, I don't want to eat for the rest of the day. So I have learned in the last 4 months to make sure that I eat enough, but not too much. Because on day 6 and 7, that appetite suppression kind of weans. And I can, if I'm not careful, I do overeat at times. And that's when I just feel nauseous and sick, and I know better than doing that. So just make sure you're eating enough, but not too much. So like I said, being on Mounjaro for the last 4 months has been successful for me. I will continue this journey on, and I'll be, like I said before, I'll be on the 5 milligram dose until my next doctor appointment at least, or if I need to talk to my provider before that because things come up or whatnot. But for right now, I will be on the 5 milligram dose until then. With being on the medication Mounjaro, I am learning to eat better. I am learning to take it day by day. I am learning to enjoy this journey. I am also moving more. I exercise in the mornings. I do cardio about 5 times a week for at least 30 to 60 minutes. So I am trying to incorporate healthy lifestyle changes and healthy lifestyle strategies so that I can continue this on even when I'm not on the medication Mounjaro, even when I've graduated off of the medication Mounjaro. So hopefully you have gained some information out of this video and you found it useful. Continue on this journey with me. I'll continue documenting it and showing my ups, my downs, and my in-betweens as I take it one day at a time, one step at a time to conquer diabetes and to lose a little more weight. But I thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, and as always, God bless.